Well then, what's this film about today? Well, oh, excuse me. Let me tell you, this is you've always wondered, you've seen all the reviews on trucks and why are trucks doing 12-hour days, why are trucks doing 15 hours, all the rest of it. So anyway, I'm sort of pinching somebody else's film. So I've got to say thank you to PJ Audits. Now, it's nothing to do, I'm just using this film and this particular place as an example of a general thing telling my story. So let's begin on a truck's day. You know, let's first of all let's see what a truck needs. Let's run this a little bit. It's nothing. It'll just give you a sort of an idea. So anyway, what does a truck need? This place is about an hour from the yard. So it's about an hour from the yard. You go there, you get loaded. So to make the truck, now these figures aren't accurate. They're just a logical thinking, logical thinking. So, excuse me. So you need to do 2 loads out of here a day, at least. So the first load will pay for the driver's wages. So the driver wages need paying. Sorry about the ads. Nothing I can do about it. So the first load has to pay for the wages, and it has to pay for the fuel, because obviously you're going to burn fuel in a truck. They're not cheap things to run. And the first load will also pay, let's say, for the maintenance of the truck. The servicing, the oil, the water, the occasional puncture, that type of thing. So you can't just go up there, do a load, get paid a lot of money, and come home happy. That doesn't happen. It's not. Sums don't work that way. So you have to do, skip the ad, you have to do 2 loads, at least. Just using this as a general example. So the second load you're going to get paid for. Now that's going to cover the cost. These vehicles have to be kept in a yard. So as you live in a house, these have to have commercial premises. So the yard has to be paid for, like your mortgage has to be paid for. Okay, and so the next part of that money that you're going to do on your second run has now got to pay for the staff. You've paid for the driver, you've put fuel in, but obviously there's management costs, there's fetching the load, organizing the load, doing all that sort of stuff. So let's say that the second load, that bit pays for it. And then obviously the boss has got to make a profit, so he's got to make it worth his while for doing it. And also the boss has got to make a profit to be able to buy a fresher truck when time comes, and to do everything else. So let's just imagine, okay, these are all just general rough figures. Let's just imagine now, out of this place, you have to do 2 loads, right? And it's generally about an hour. So let's guess. And I'm not picking on this particular place. I'm just saying this is a place to load and a place to unload. It could be a warehouse. It could be a building yard. It could be anything. It could be a quarry. We're just using this as an example. So we know we've got to do 2 loads. So you've got to get up in the morning. You've got to get there. It takes an hour to get there. It takes an hour. Let's guess it takes an hour to load. Then you've got to go and get rid of your the stuff that you've collected to wherever you're taking it to. So you got to drive down the road. You got to take an hour there. You got to take an hour to drive there. Then you've got to offload it. So let's say it takes an hour to offload it. Then you've got to drive back to this place, right? This destination. It's only a destination. That's all it is. Drive back to your next destination. Then you've got to take another hour to say load it again. And then you've got to take another hour to take it back to where its destination is, where it's got to go. And you've got to get back to the yard. Now, in between times, you've also got to have a lunch break somewhere, haven't you? The law demands that after 4.5 hours driving or 6 hours duty, you have to take a 3/4 of an hour break. So we've set out our day. We know what we've got to do. So let's start with the reality of the job. So, okay, you've set your alarm 5 o'clock. Your alarm's gone at 5 o'clock. You've got yourself in the yard. You haven't had any problems. You've picked up your truck. You've picked up your trailer. You haven't had to go and find another trailer somewhere else because you're having a good day. Obviously, the law says you have to take 15 minutes to walk around and check your truck. So you're all prepared now, and you're out. You're out, and you're going down. You've left the yard at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fine, all is good. All is good. So it's taken you an hour to get to this destination. Okay, so it took you an hour to get to this destination, and I'll just show you what happens, what it's like, and it just shows it exactly on this film. Hold on a minute, let's get there. Right, we are where we want to be. So you're here and you've arrived. Oh God, look at that. Every mother is in front of you. So you've arrived, and let's say you're the end, you're the poor guy that's ended at the end of the queue here. So you arrived there at 7 o'clock and the place is chock-a-block. You're queuing to get into the place. Okay, okay, we've got an hour. So you've arrived there at 7, no problem. Now the office staff has come in. We'll come back to the reason. And like I say, I'm not picking on this place. This is just general trucking. You've got here, there's a queue. Okay. So that's starting to tick away. So now it's taken 2 hours. Maybe took 3 hours. So on this particular day, I'd say they're just having a busy day. But it's now taken you 3 hours to get loaded. Now, let me just do you a quick, there we are. Now let's stop him there now. So it's nobody's fault, just the way it is. You've got loads of you turning up. Now see here, the reason it takes quite a time to get all this done, and I'm just using this place as an example. Here now, you're in the weighbridge, so he's weighing you. Obviously, you have to tell him who you are and what your job, who you're working for. You have to tell him what materials you're coming to get. In this particular case, it's a scrapyard, so you're coming for. You can't take any old scrap and take it anywhere. You've come for a specific load, and it has to be a certain stuff, and you have to show him. You have to say to him, like, I've come for this material and I'm taking it to such a place. And there's always codes and references and cross references. So this guy here, you've got that to do. Okay, so it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's working flat out, and as you can see, there's an outway. So he's not only looking after that side of vehicles coming in and doing due diligence, he has to also look after this side, which is the outside. So you take your turn, no problem. That's no problem at all. So as you can see, if you follow the track around, there's another queue up here. So we're going to have to come back for that. We're going to have to, well, let's run it. Let's see what it sees. So it's gone round here. Now, can you see there's another queue there? So the reason that queue is there, and I'll show you in a minute, you'll get to, stop. The reason that queue is there is because where you're operating, in this particular case, now it could be a bay, It could be a loading area. These could be loading you with forklifts. It could be anything, you know. So you've queued now. Yeah. So it's not their fault. They're not hiding. So you come here now, and these guys, you might see, if you see this film, they're taking the box off. You see, you're back there. You go into the machine. They take the box off you. You pull forward. They invert the box. These are called inverters. And what they're doing is they're getting the material, and they're putting the material in the box, and then they shut the lid and they put it back on you. Okay, are you with me? And obviously it takes time. And these poor guys, I mean, most places have only got one of these machines. This place is a highly efficient place, and they know they've got the volume, so they've got two machines. So whilst he is taking that box off and doing, obviously there's certain checks that he has to do, this guy is then doing, so this machine doesn't stop. He fills this one, and whilst he's swapping over, he does this one. And whilst he's swapping over, he goes back to that one. So there we are, you've done that now. You've got yourself loaded. And can you see, in this particular place, there's another weighbridge here. So you have to come around here, and you have to obviously weigh. And again, do due diligence. Have you got the right stuff? Is it going to the right place? All that sort of stuff, you know. You can't just drive in and get a load. You know, there are certain checks and balances that has to be done. So, okay, so you've been there. So you're already, you know, you're under the cosh now because you've been held up. So you're an hour away. So here we go. Brum, 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 you drive an hour. So you've driven an hour down. Remember, you've got to do 2 loads today. Let's just do that. So now you've got to get rid of that box, haven't you? You've got to give that box to the train. So here we are, and you've seen my films previously about Freightliner, and this is just, again, that is a collection point, any collection point, and this is a delivery point, any delivery point. So you've got to get rid of what you've picked up, haven't you? So you come here, and obviously this is a brilliant day. It must be a Sunday. There's no bugger there. Nobody there. But anyway, you have to then come here down the queue. So you're queuing down this road here, and you're coming in here. And again, you're bringing goods into this place. So you have to stop and do due diligence, talk to the operator, you know, here I am, this is my registration, this is the firm I'm working for, I've got this load and I'm bringing it to you. So again, it's a delay getting through the gate, it's due diligence. This is what takes the time, tick tock, tick tock. So you've come in. Now you've seen my films of sometimes the queues you can hit. So if you're lucky, it takes an hour. If you're unlucky, you can be stuck in another queue for another 3 hours. But anyway, obviously you've got to come in now. So you've done due diligence at the gateway, and you've got to get your box off. So, right. So here is the train track. You've seen plenty of films of the train track. Here's the crane. There's one here, there's one here. Sometimes if that's not broken down, well, first of all, if your numbers are all right, if you're accepted in, so we're having a good day. There's no problem. All the numbers and the codes, because the paperwork runs ahead of you. As a driver, your information is running ahead of you, so they're waiting for you. They know that you're coming. You know, it's all security and that sort of thing. So it's come here. So where you've got to put it, shall we say, is up here. But if the crane is working down there, and obviously it doesn't know you've arrived until you've come through the gate, so he's got a list of work to do, and then you have take your turn here. So you have to come here, and you've waited him to do the thing, and he's took it off you. Okay, tick tock, tick tock. So now you've got rid of that full box. You've got to go get another one now, an empty one. So you come around here, and then you go to another area, and there might be a little queue there, and you'll pick up your empty box, because remember, you've got to do 2 today at least just to pay the bills. So you've picked up your empty box, and again, you've got to check out. You've got to make sure, you've got to tell these what box you've got, that all that information, that you're going out with an empty box because you're going to do another road, right? And then you're on your way. So we're back. We've driven another hour up the road, and we're back to where we're doing our second load to pay the bills. You know, you got to do 2 loads. Fine, we know, and we accept that. So anyway, you've let's go back again here. So here we are, we're here. So as you have got to do 2 loads, every one of these other sons of bitches have got to do 2 loads as well. So you're back here now again to your pickup point, you know, your loading place, and this lot are here again in front of your way, you know, some quicker, some slower, and you can't really take a break because you're moving. Let's say it takes 10 minutes here, and it takes 10 minutes there, and it takes 10 minutes there. You know, you're always on the move. So in between times, you've got to stuff yourself a 3/4 an hour break in somewhere, which you know, sometimes not so easy. So anyway, you're back here now, aren't you? So fine. You haven't been stopped. You haven't had the traffic was been clear, the motorway's been clear, everything's been fine. You haven't had no delays. So here we are again. We're loading. We're doing this process again, waiting for the queue, going round here, getting to load the box again. So for this example only, let's say it takes another 2.5 to 3 hours to get through this process, to wait in the queue. You can't jump the queue. You've got to take your turn. First come, first serve. Everybody's working flat out. It's not anybody's fault that there's a delay. I mean, this hasn't broken down. There's a myriad of things that can go wrong. That adds to your day, makes your day longer. So what you plan and what you get is always not the same. So you've got this again now. So you've come here and you've loaded. So now you're headed back into your offloading position, because you have to get rid of it now, don't you? So you've got to get rid of it. So you come back here, because you're booked into the next job, aren't you? You're booked in for tomorrow's job. You've got to do the same job tomorrow. So you've got to get rid of that one so that you can have a nice, easy start tomorrow. So the choice is, if by now the day is ticking away and it's maybe, let's say it's 4 o'clock. Remember, you started at 6. If you don't do it now, you're going to have to do it in the morning. If you don't prepare yourself for tomorrow, you're going to have to get rid of it in the morning and start your day again, which makes you late. So we want to get rid of and whilst I'm remembering, obviously they've got to take a dinner break as well, haven't they? These workers in here, they're at 15 hours in the morning, 15 minutes in the morning, half an hour dinner break, and 15 minutes of tea break. They're fully entitled to that, as you are. So you've come back here now. So you think, right, okay, won't take me long. Bang down there, get rid of it, get a nice empty box ready to do the same job again tomorrow. So you come in here. So let's still say we're having a fairly decent day. There hasn't been any cock-ups with the numbers. Now, I'm telling you, we are just the squidgy bit in between. You have to give these a certain number and a certain information. So the customer has to tell the shipping agent. In this particular case, the customer has to tell the shipping agent this specific code. Let's say the code is 1234. So the customer tells the shipping agent tells the transport company, and the transport company tells the driver, and then the driver has to tell the operator when these goods are coming in. Now, and it's all done by phone and email and stuff. And these have got to know what that number is. If you don't give them that, shall we call it a secret code, 1234. So I'm no innocent. I ring up. Oh, right, boss. What's this number I need? Oh, yeah, the number is 1234. Well, I've got a nasty habit of listening to 1234 and writing down 4321. So I come to this window and she's expecting me to say, Wendy, I'm missing you loads. Nice friendly face in the window. It's lovely. Anyway, so I tell her 4321 and she says to me, Reggie, that number's no good. That's not a valid number. So then, I ring the transport and I tell them it's the wrong number, and then transport rings the agent and the agent rings the customer, and obviously it's all ticky-tocky time, and it comes back, and then they come back, Reggie, what number did you say? And I've written it on a piece of paper. I wrote 4321. Reggie, you idiot, it's supposed to be 1234. And different variations of that happens all the time. And of course it's taking time. So anyway, we've got our second load. We're bringing our second load in now, aren't we? Meanwhile, you're here, and you've had a pretty good day, but you've hit a block. We'll just pick on this particular place. Obviously, they're entitled to their lunch breaks, the same as everyone else is entitled. So you've come here now and you're waiting, and then all of a sudden now, this is a 24-hour operation. So there's shift change. We're all aware of shift changes, aren't we? So you're here, you just want to hurry up, get in, get out, and go home. But unfortunately, nothing's broken down, but there's a shift change. So you've got to wait for the man to come here to change shifts, for the other man to come here. And obviously, when he takes over this crane, the same rules apply as to trucks. He can't just get in and drive the damn thing. Obviously he's got to fill paperwork. He's got to do his checks that the machine is working fine before he takes it over. So you can see it takes time, doesn't it? So now you've got rid of your box and you've joined the queue there, and then you go over here and you want to pick up the box, an empty box ready for tomorrow morning. So, okay, you've got your empty box for another tomorrow morning, and that's took another couple of hours. So you're on your way home now, no problem. But wherever you're operating it, whatever you're doing, this is Birmingham. So now it's 5 o'clock. The rush hour starts at about 3:30 and doesn't finish till about 7 at night. So now you want to get home, and you haven't had much delays. It's been a fairly good day. But now you're stuck in traffic. So what would have took you half an hour if there was nothing in the way now takes you an hour. Yeah. So now you're going, oh, damn, I've got to get out of here. So you're in the traffic, coming from your point of delivery, because you're going to come back now, aren't you? So, and you're coming along, and then all of a sudden, the bloody motorway is chock-a-block. Oh, and you're in the queue and whatever and however, and anyway. So sometimes it happens that you don't get home till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You're still within your rules, you're still doing it. So now you've got to get home. You've got to park the truck up. Sometimes you've got to disconnect the trailer if you're doing a different job, or, and they'll tell you, right, tomorrow you need to leave the yard at 6. But if there's something else and they've given you another job, it might be shorter. So you'll go back in the yard and they'll say, right, Reggie, what time did you start? Oh, yeah, I started at 6. Oh, right, it's 9 o'clock now, isn't it? Yeah, right. We want you to take your minimum break because we need you to get out early in the morning because we've got another job for you to do. So you've got 9 hours. You've got to have 9 hours off. Now, that within that 9 hours, you've got to drive home, wherever, near or far to the yard. You've got to have something to eat, you know, your evening meal, whatever. You've got to go to bed and you've got to go to sleep. And then, obviously, you've got to get up an hour early to be able to wake up, to be able to get in the car, to be able to go to work, to do your checks so that you can be headed out back on the road in the morning. So I hope that is explaining why transport is a full time. It takes all that time. And remember, we haven't had any major delays. That's just an ordinary standard day. That's why it ends up taking hours and hours and hours and hours to get these jobs done. It seems great on paper. Oh yeah, it won't take you long. Just pop up here, just go there. It's a, you know. So I hope that explains to you how a truck driver's day is. And there again, thank you very much to PJ Audits that I've pinched this film. By the way, have a look at it. You might find it quite interesting. I hope that's entertained you anyway.